This is Brand Rescue, a marketing and PR podcast for businesses who want the real deal, not trendy fluff or complicated funnels. From PR to paid ads, we share free advice that actually works because mediocre marketing is so last season. If you're ready, your marketing comeback starts right now. Hey friends, thanks for tuning in today. This is going to be a fun solo because this is something that is happening in real time. And I've also just had so many realizations about it lately, but let's back up for a second. So this podcast episode and a lot of our future episodes are really going to go back to the core of this show. So this show has kind of been an evolution, right? Over the last, I don't even know how long we've been doing this, 3.5 years. By the time this episode drops, 3.5 years, something like that. And I absolutely love it. And I thought back to myself, I was like, we've done content that's about small business. We've done content that's directed more to people in our industry. We've done content that's more focused on certain industries, like food and bev or, service-based or medical or things like that. And it's just been so interesting to see what people respond to and what gets the most traction. So I'll tell you this, I think the times doing this podcast that I have been the happiest has been when it leads me to connect with other PR people. Again, I don't monetize this podcast. I do pay a team member to edit this, to rip the audio, to do the video snippets, to do all of that. It's not cheap, right? It's not free and it's not cheap. And this also takes up a good amount of my time, but I find so much value in it because it connects me with other people in the industry, and I think it's just an outlet for thought leadership, not just for me, but for the people we bring on the show. And I think we all kind of need a place where we can go and have these conversations, like real conversations about what it's like to work in our industry, and with people who get it. I talk to friends that don't work in PR and stuff, but it's different when it's somebody who gets it, right? The moment I connect with somebody who owns an agency, we immediately have this unspoken bond, even if like our vibes are totally different. We're different ages. We're interested in different things. We have that commonality and like we immediately have this like this respect for each other, right? Or we just trauma bonded. That's probably it too. So you'll see a lot of the episodes going forward. I want to talk about things that build more connection with people in our industry. So, and I love hearing from y'all too. So, feel free to DM me always if you have ideas or if you want to hear my take on something. I get those a lot where people are like, hey, this is happening in the industry or this is happening with a lot of our clients. What do you think about this or what's your take on that? And so that's where I get a lot of ideas from these episodes, but y'all know I get them also from the stuff that happens in my agency, True Story. So anyway, if you're here and you're looking for small business advice, you'll probably hear a lot about you'll probably walk away with this with a greater understanding of PR and if it's going to help you and your business, whatever type of business you have. But I think, what I feel most excited about is industry talk and talking with y'all about working in PR, communications, marketing. I know all of it is so intertwined. Even my agency, it's called True Story PR, but there are marketing forms that we do. We do paid ads. Everyone's like, what? A PR agency that does paid ads? It just makes sense for a lot of our clients and the campaigns that we're doing for us to be able to do those paid Google and Meta ads at a really high level for them. It helps support the campaigns we're already doing. And that's why we do it. I'm not like out pushing us as a paid traffic agency, but for clients that we are working doing their PR, then yeah, a lot of times it makes total sense. So I know there's going to be a hybrid of people here. And, again, even using the word PR for my agency, sometimes it's hard for people to grasp what we actually do, which is going to lead perfectly into this conversation. So let's do it. Okay. So, the title of this episode is The One Question That Will Change the Way Your Client Sees You or your boss if you're in a corporate role. Okay. Because let's be real, nobody freaking understands the purpose of PR. I even put it on our website. Like, if you are just looking to increase your sales quickly, PR is not a fit. True story is not a fit for you. You are not a good you are not a fit. Please don't fill out the contact form. And I still get people that do it. So people just see PR people as like all we do is pitch for media coverage, and that makes me crazy, right? There's so many more aspects to PR than just media pitching, you know? Um, and I could go down a whole rabbit hole with that, but I'm not. We're going to keep this episode succinct. But I'll tell you what inspired this episode. The amount of calls I get on with potential clients, people that have come to our website and said, "We're interested in working with you." And I get on a call with them because I like to hear what prompted them to reach out to us. They got to have something going on, or they're missing a goal, or they're not getting something, and so they're seeking out help from a PR agency. So that's like where I really like to start is like, so what prompted you to reach out to us? That's not the question. Okay. The title of this episode, The One Question, that's not the question. But I do like to lead with that question of like, hey, what prompted you to reach out to us? And I'm not kidding. Most of the time they reply something like, well, we need more media coverage, and we need to have influencers, and we need to have like food writers write on us, and or my favorite, we need to just we have this something something happening and we need to PR that. And immediately I'm like, oh my God, it takes every ounce of my energy because I'm on camera at that moment to not like eye roll and just get up from my desk. They immediately start telling me what they need. We need this. We need that. We need this. And I'm like, "Okay, okay, okay." So I just kinda listen, let them get it all out. They're sharing their frustration about what's missing the mark or what they think is missing the mark. And I will say the question that I ask that flips the entire script is I'm like, "What's your goal here? What's your goal with this, whatever it is, with this restaurant? What's your goal with this hotel? What's your goal with this?" And they usually go straight into like, well, we need to increase room night revenue. We need to get more people to come in for lunch because our dinner is really busy, but we need lunch. And I'm like, no, all that is marketing. Okay. We need more lunch. They immediately go into some sort of sales related need. Okay. So I listen and then I ask them again. I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, let's talk much bigger than that. Let's talk much bigger than we need more people at lunch. What are you trying to do with this restaurant? Like, what is your big goal? Like, do you want to have multiple locations? Do you want to expand and build a wedding venue on the backside? Do you want to grow this thing into a franchise? Do you want to, expand and offer, catering or online ordering or much beyond like we need lunch service? Like, what is your big aspiration for this business? I'll give you guys an example. So this has been years ago. We got a client, we had somebody fill out our contact form, get on the call with me, and they reached out because they were like, we don't like our social media person. Our social media person is very mediocre, and it's just not great. It's not consistent. We're paying somebody who's really young, and in all fairness, we're not giving her a lot of feedback, and she's constantly asking us what to do. They go in that whole pain story, right? We need your help with social media. I did my flip and said, "Okay, because I was talking to the owner actually. I'm like, "What's your goal? You have 2 locations. What's your goal with this? Like, what's your real goal with this?" Are you trying to pass it down to your children? Are you trying to, grow it into a freestanding building? They're in a strip mall right now. Or like, what is your what are you trying to do with this? And he's like, I want to franchise this eventually. He's like, I've had people ask me about it, and it just never it never goes anywhere. We have a franchise website and we have all the information about what it takes to open their own store, but like we we have people that show very early interest and then they just kind of ghost us. And as soon as he said, "I wanna franchise this," I looked at him and I was like, "Hey, look, we can do your social media, but we look at the forest. We're not looking at the trees, right? The tree is, "We need help with social media. Our social media sucks." The forest is, "I wanna grow this thing into a franchise," okay? I'm like, "That's what we help brands do." We help brands get to their big goal. And yes, we do execute all kinds of little tasks. We write pitches, we post stuff on social media, all that. But knowing your big goal, I'll tell you right now, we can fix the social media problem, but there's several other things that are holding you back from being ready to franchise this. And they were like, "Oh, well, what is that?" And we dove into it, and it ended up being like the type of work we were doing for them. We didn't send out a single pitch for over a year and a half because there was so much internal with their experience, with their user generated content opportunities, with the interior of the restaurants, with their merch, with all kinds of stuff that we got. We spent over a year helping them renovate the restaurant, like creating an identity for the restaurant inside the building, redoing their merch, all kinds of stuff. And you're like, "Wait a minute, that's not PR people." And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, that's perception, right? We want their brand to be perceived so top notch. We don't want to look like a mom and pop. We want their brand to be perceived so top notch that someone's like, I want to own one of these." You know? So it changed my view to like, we're not right now, we're not trying to go after every individual diner, right? We're trying to go after people that look at that brand and go, "That's awesome. I should open one of these in my hometown." You know what I mean? So it's like my focus shifted from how do we get more people to come in and eat, which I do think is a byproduct of a lot of the work that we did over the last or whenever it was, like the year and a half or something. Um, I do think that they are going to get more diners. Their revenue did go up, especially during their slow season. They had the biggest month they've ever had in that was like a really slow month historically for them. So I think that sales was a byproduct, but I mean, we got down to the nitty-gritty of like, this coffee mug isn't right. And you're like, "What do you mean? Why is a PR person giving a crap about a coffee mug?" And I was like, "Well, think about it. Like, we want this to feel like an elevated experience. And right now, the coffee mug that they're drinking out of is literally like one of those 1992 little tiny 8-ounce coffee mugs. I call them bank coffee mugs because my dad used to work at a bank, and you know what I'm talking about. Those basic white ones that had the little C-shaped handle. That's what people were drinking coffee out of. And I was like, no, no, no. Like, think about breakfast makes you feel at home. Breakfast feels cozy. Breakfast feels relaxing and, easing into your day. I was like, we need like a big ass coffee mug. Everybody's loving these big mugs right now. Maybe like those like ceramic ones, or not ceramic, the clay, like something that's big and it feels big in your hand. And also from an operational standpoint, the servers won't have to refill the coffee as often because these big mugs are going to hold more coffee, but it just makes you feel like you're at home. Their audience is millennials, and we know millennials love a big old coffee mug, including me. So, we got even down to like, what do we want people to feel inside this restaurant? We want them to feel at home. Okay, first we're going to tackle one of the first things we did was like, we need a new coffee mug. Because again, as PR people, our job is to shape perceptions. and create brand identity so people remember you and know you and you make them feel a certain way. Again, like marketing is like, how do we get into their pocketbooks? PR is like, how do we get into their heart? Where they feel so at home that they're like, that's where I want to go for breakfast. And the whole venue with the renovations, it just warmed up the whole environment, made it so much cozier. Also, it made the locations match each other. So again, if they're trying to franchise, every store needs to look the same, or 98% of the same. There's always going to be infrastructure differences and things like that. The booths are different or, the shape of the chairs, whatever. But overall, you want the experience to be the same in every single one of your restaurants. So they were just a perfect client that had good food, an amazing team, and they were open to our suggestions on how to get to their goal. So no, their goal was not, we need new social media. Their goal was, how do I make this into a franchise? You know? And so that to me is like what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like that client, I just adore them to pieces because they they told us their goal and then they followed our lead and we were like, if you want our honest expert opinion, if you're trying to get to a franchise, social media right now is a little tiny problem that we can fix. Yes, we did. We don't even do their social media. We got someone else to handle it for them. We helped, make sure that person understands the brand and what we want to push and what their posts need to feel like and what the copy needs to feel like and all that. So boom, we resolved the social media problem and we went after the big thing. We went after the big thing of how do we make people feel a certain way in this restaurant? I could go on for years about this, and I'm like, how do I get 600,000 more clients just like them? You know what I mean? People that have a big goal and then they follow our lead on and not every suggestion that we did, they didn't take every single suggestion just for sheer budget purposes. There were things we suggested to do inside the restaurants that they were like, "Yo, we cannot afford that." I'm like, "Okay, get it. I got it." But we did as much as their budget allowed, and they trusted us, and it was so freaking fun. And then you know what? After all that, they had a big milestone and we got them all over the local news. We got them featured in all these big newsletters, like all these cool things. So the traditional PR did come and they were ready for it. You know what I mean? Like the renovation, all of that, their new merch, their online ordering, the big ass coffee mug, all of that was in place. So when we did get that media coverage, boom, the reporter walked into a beautiful, impeccable restaurant that they were so freaking proud of. I'm like, that is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Seeing them like seeing them succeed made my freaking week. It made my month, it made my year to watch good people succeed at what they want to do, you know? I just loved it. It was so fun. So I liken it to this. I tell people this example all the time. When clients or people aren't getting it, I say, think about it like this in a hairstylist situation. Do you go into the hairstyle? You have a hair appointment, right? You're going to get your hair did. You walk in there 9 times out of 10, ladies, tell me if I'm wrong, and you got a photo off Instagram or Pinterest or TikTok, and you're like, hey, hairstylist, here's what I want to look like. See that color blonde or see that hairstyle, that cut? How, like, I want that length and I like how it's got these layers, or I like this color brown. I just love this look. Give me this look. Okay. What you don't do is walk in there and say, hey, hairstylist, I want you to put 36 foils in my hair. I want you to use this color mixed with this color, put a little bit of a, like a darker shade right here. I need you to use these kind of shears and I need you to cut off exactly this much. And I need you to hold the shears at this angle while you cut it. And then I also want you to make sure you put this much toner in my hair and actually like apply the toner just like this. And then I know you usually wait 5 minutes until you wash it out, but I want you to wait 10 minutes until you wash it out. That's what I need today. Thank you. No, you don't freaking do that, do you? So why do people do that to PR people? I'm like, yo, show me the Instagram photo of like, I want my hair to look like this, and let me, Whitney, the experts, true story, let us show you how to make your hair look like that. Don't worry about all the foils. Don't worry about the toner. Don't worry about the color or the type of shears I'm going to use or anything. I see your vision and I freaking get it. And I'm going to make you look as close to that. Now, some of that is non realistic. Okay. The hair pictures on the internet are AI generated. So be a realist with your hairstylist. But I'm going to get you as close to that color blonde as I absolutely can get you. Or if that's not realistic, they'll tell you that, or they should tell you, "Hey, that is actually an AI generated photo. So see this and that and this. That is not exactly how it's going to come out on you, but we're going to try to get you as close to there as possible." A good hairstylist will do that to you or say that to you, right? And I tell our clients that too, like, "Hey, I know your goal is this, but I'm going to be honest with you, like that is AI generated or that is whatever. And I think a realistic goal for you right now by the end of this year is to do A, B, and C. We can't get you all the way to Z by December." I literally have somebody who tried to get me to do a grand opening within 3 weeks. And I just straight up was like, I'll be honest with you, I cannot take your money because I cannot, what you're asking me to do, I cannot do that in 3 weeks. I can't do it to the best of my ability. And I don't want to tell you that I can, and I don't want to halfway do this. And I don't want you to be disappointed in the end. So, I can't do that in 3 weeks. Now I can do it in 3 months. Realistically, if you want XYZ, I can do that in 3 months. So anyway, the hairstylist situation usually helps people like think twice about it. They're like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Like, I don't go in there and tell her what shears to use and what type of foils and how many. I just show her the end product and say, make my hair look like this. So, dear God, send me more clients that say, Whitney, make my hair look like this, and we will show them the way. We will get them as close to that photo as possible. We will get them as close to their vision in every way that we can. And it'll be a mixture of methods. It'll be a mixture of PR, social media, ads, maybe renovating their space, maybe dropping new merch, whatever. Let us show you our recommendation on how to get you to that goal, and stop obsessing over these little tasks of you need to send out 10 pitches a day and you need to get us 10 influencers a month and you need to no, 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 no. What's the goal? And that's the question that you need to ask your client or your boss is like, hey, aside from that, aside from we need better social media, what's the big goal here? What are we trying to do here? You know, that's not, what do we want people to think and feel about us? And then that'll tell me what direction I need to take the social media or the media pitches or the influencers. So, anyway, y'all, I hope this has been helpful for you. Just me asking those questions of our clients and potential clients has really helped change the way that they look at me and us. When I start going down that route, they're like, "Oh," when I'm like, "No, no, no, this little I need social media is a symptom. We're going after the root, like we're going after the root cause here." And I can tell that their brains kind of recalibrate on like, "Oh," and that's going to change the way they view you, as if they view you as a vendor or if they view you as a counselor to them, as an expert. I don't want to be a freaking vendor. I don't know about y'all, but I don't think any of us aspire to be a vendor. Yes, you have to learn the little tasks and the tasks help you, but we want to be counselors on what people think and feel about your brand. So, I hope y'all enjoy this episode. If you agree, if you have your own story, some people love to vent to me, and I'm down. I like to hear it. Makes me feel like I'm not alone. So I hope this has been valuable to y'all. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in to Brand Rescue. For more practical marketing and PR support, head to yourmarketingheroes.com.